the Prime. And Prime is just getting love. And they deserve it. It's an unbelievable equipment company.
Yeah. It gave me the best pump I've ever had in my life.
Whoa.
You say you hate it, but I think you would like it if you...
Hey folks, I'm here with Jared Feather, IFBB Pro, and I am Dr. Mike, former professor and current guy that has a degree in sport physiology and a PhD at that. 10 machines that you must be familiar with to search around the world to get you the best workouts possible for a bunch of different muscles of the body. 3, 2, 1, 10 machines. First up on our list is the Atlantis Hack Squat. Why do we like the Atlantis Hack Squat so much, Jared?
You can adjust the foot padding.
Yep. So adjusting the foot platform means that you can angle it lower or higher, which means no matter what your body shape or size, you can press through your heel and whole foot and not have to come up on your toes. That's a beautiful thing.
So good.
It's the only machine I've ever used, only leg machine I have ever used, like a quad machine in which I had Crocs on and I was heel down, full ROM. I remember doing like 3 sets of hacks and being like, I think that's good. I have oddly a really huge pump. It doesn't make sense from 3 sets.
Yeah.
And that was us in Canada at the Atlantis facility. Remember we like walked around Montreal and I was limping everywhere because it maimed me in the best way possible. Crazy DOMs. Yeah. It's just the best. When you have the best, you need to know about it.
You can adjust the back support pad, which for a lot of people, when you're completely vertical in the hack squat and your back like this, there's a little bit more knee pressure. Then if you push that pad forward, it actually puts your torso to where you can almost get more forward knee flexion without that knee pain that most people experience.
Yeah.
And then obviously you can adjust the range of motion thing, which we would just never touch. But
yes.
it is the third thing.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
And also, technically speaking, because you can leverage the chair completely up,
So nice.
it's also a leg press.
Yep.
And a hack squat.
Yep.
At the same time.
Especially with the adjustable back pad. Because there's a full adjustable, which would make it more of a leg press, and there's a halfway adjustable. And for me, because my ankle mobility is so shitty, I still use the squat shoes, obviously. Put the plate all the way down and put the adjustable back pad midway, so I'm still getting a lot of my shoulders into the pads.
Yes.
The upper pads. That is the best stimulus to fatigue I've ever had for my quads in my life.
It's just awesome.
Yeah.
The Nautilus assisted pull-up is next. Editors, good luck finding a picture of this. It's quite rare. But what it does is it doesn't track vertically.
Yep.
As you do the eccentric for the assisted pull-up, the foot pad, the body holder device, moves forward, which means as you go down, it stretches your lats even more. And coming back up isn't a vertical pull only. It's a vertical pull and a pullover at the same time. I mean,
up and back.
After you use it, you're like, why does anyone bother making any other machine assisted pull-up? And I have a great assisted pull-up machine at my house, but there's a difference between great and the best. It's like you might have a girl that's just so hot. She's your girlfriend. She's amazing, right, Jared? Like everyone's always like, damn, dude, she's so fine. How do you keep her in line? You're like, well, I'm just a free-spirited guy and she can go anywhere she wants. She likes your boy. It's what she likes and she ain't leaving. Then you go to the club and you see Lizzo. I'm talking about prime Lizzo. And all of a sudden you're drooling and your girl's like, are you horny for me? And you're like, I'm sorry, who are you? And you move her by the face out of the way, run towards Lizzo, arms wide open. That song is playing. Scott, that's your shit, right?
Yeah.
Creed?
Yes.
Ironically, when Lizzo's around, but then you jump into her arms and everything's better afterwards. The Nautilus assisted pull-up is goated.
Yeah.
I don't believe they make it anymore. Yeah. It's one of those retro gyms. We had to throw retro machines. We had to throw in 1 or 2 of these for you guys to be like Carmen Sandiego up in this mug.
But a lot of the
see if you can find
old school bodybuilding gyms have them. Bez Francis had one, I think.
Yes.
But it gets rid of the 2 issues you run into, which the vertical tracking path is obviously one of them. And the second one is that whether you're too tall or too short, you run into one problem. And that is either you hit the bottom before the 4 range of motion,
Yep.
or you hit the top before the 4 range of motion.
Yeah.
Me and Mike literally have the opposite problems whenever we use a machine.
Yep.
So I'll be bottoming out the machine, but I'm getting all the way up. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Or I'm not getting all the way up and I'm not hitting the bottom. The range of motion on the machine is so long.
So long. It's like you could be 7'2" and still get something
you just
out
don't
of it.
really need to put attachments on, because we always solve those issues with like what you do with yours, putting the bar
Yeah.
between some D handles, and then
Yes.
you can actually
But
get the full
also
stretch.
it has a knee pad, so you sit with your legs bent. A lot of machines have the standing
it's
which
awful.
also, like, unfortunately, it like more degrees of freedom for you to lose force through the way, and it's
a lot
like
of people
more
are bending their
unstable.
knees and
Yeah,
shit during
100%.
movement.
This fixes all those problems.
Yeah, it's an amazing machine.
Next up is the Hoist chest press.
We're gonna get flack for that for sure.
From people having feelings,
Yeah.
people, it's okay that you
People,
have
for
feelings.
some reason, they go to crunch. Hoist is the main line for crunch.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, I'm gonna
most
go to crunch.
bodybuilders I talk to, they're like, I just hate the Hoist stuff. It sucks. And I'm like, have you used the chest press? They're like, yeah, it sucks. I'm like, what?
What? But they don't do the deep thing that we do a
I
lot.
guess. Yeah. It's amazing.
It is a scientific fact that the Hoist makes them moist. Who's them? Females of reproductive age. Why is that important? You pump up your pecs so that they can look in your direction. But if they look in your direction and you've been using the Hoist chest press, not only are your pecs plumptuously pumped for a variety of technical reasons we'll describe shortly, but the women vibe off the machine too. All of a sudden your chances of converting, and that means going on a nice date with a nice girl, increase. Go to a water park. Take it from me. It's probably best. It'll be a water park either way, wherever you go, as long as the Hoist machine is right with you. I think the Hoist executives are watching this like, oh, a big fitness channel talked about our machine. And about now, they're like, what the hell is wrong with that stupid bald guy and his stupid flaccid mohawk, alcoholic factory working father? Nothing wrong with us. The Hoist chest press can't fix, by the way.
That's right.
Why, Jared? What do you like most about it?
The way that you move with the resistance profile is literally exactly how the strength curve should be for a muscle whenever you're training on a machine.
Yeah.
It matches perfectly.
Yep.
The deep stretch is fucking amazing.
Psychotic.
And then it gets easier as you press because you're also pushing back. At the same time, your body's moving away from that line of resistance. It's literally the best chest press I've ever used. And I don't know why people don't like it. It really
I just
blows my
bought one
fucking
for my
mind.
own gym.
Yeah.
Like we have one now at the RP gym. And so the depth that you're going to get on that as far as stretch is like insane. And obviously you can even modify the machine with more pads if you're real flexible or something. It is really well loaded. It's not one of these machines where like if you bench 500 for reps, you're going to be able to do like 3 or 4 reps.
Right.
Yeah. But for almost everyone of almost every strength, including you and I,
Yeah, no,
it's a great machine. It's just phenomenal. It also has adjustable handles. You can do normal grip. You can do 45 grip, and you can even do, they have a new one where it's like 90-degree grip.
Yeah.
It's a real trip. So huge props and love to that machine. Next, there are women in this world, and I know this sounds crazy, that have very, very low standards for their own sexual security, let's call it, their own chastity.
That's right.
And we have a term for them.
Jared.
They're called, I'm sorry?
That's right.
They're called Hello, Jared.
Hello, Jared.
They're called hoes. And there's only one thing to do to get women like that straightened up so they could behave better in society, and it's rows. The only way to do rows for the hoes, Jared, is the prime row. Prime, sorry to throw you under the bus with this disgusting analogy. I don't even know where I come up with these things. But the prime row is so goated. They don't use steel. They don't use plastic. They don't use rubber. It's literally all goat parts.
Yeah.
Made physically from goats, slaughtered at their prime.
Yeah.
Only the strongest goats. That's why it's called prime. And so why is this machine so amazing? Because if you put most of the plates on the top peg, Jared is part of a political movement called #top peg only.
Yeah.
You put a small amount of weights in the middle peg just to get a little bit of resistance at the top. 0 weights on the bottom peg, or if you're going to do the bottom peg, very few weights, nothing in the middle, tons at the top. What ends up happening is the force curve, which they've architected beautifully, is such that it's such a difficult machine at the stretch. when you try to pull it, you're like, I can't lift this much weight. And somebody has to tell you, like, really ramp your force. So don't just pull, and then pull harder and harder. At some point it unclicks. And then it gets so much easier at the very top. You have this ability to just completely connect mind muscle with your back, click the elbows back, raise the chest, get a crazy contraction, and then pre-prep your elbows for massive eccentric control. You ride out the whole eccentric, and as you ride it out and try to keep it to be not super slow, but maybe 2 or 3 seconds, it gets tougher. And you have to rip your lats open trying to control it because it gets heavier and heavier on the way down.
I love that too, because the sensation that we're trying to cue in everybody that we train is exactly that. And if you can feel the resistance picking up when we're telling you to lean into the stretch and you have to resist it, that's the exact thing we're trying to coach on most exercises that we're coaching. And it's like an internal cueing from the machine. And you immediately understand, like, oh, that's what that means.
Cheat code.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Prime row is really awesome. The handles rotate, so you don't have to be uncomfortable. And it's actually really easy to get your VersaGrips into the handles and then go. There's an adjustable chest plate, chest pad, so that if you're a tall king, if you're a short king, if you're a medium king, all kings are welcome. Don't confuse yourself with the goat, though, because there's only one the goat, and that's the prime row.
And that is usually for prime. Cam setting 3 is the deepened stretch. Cam setting 1 would be peak contraction, and the middle peg or setting 2 is usually that like even resistance profile, which is why we like to load cam setting 3 with a little bit in the even resistance profile, just for something on the concentric.
Yeah. Basically, Jared used to be a dictator back in the day. He doesn't like to talk about it. He liberated some political prisoners. Their names were cam setting 3, cam setting 2, and cam setting 1. He told cam setting 2.
Those are the government names.
Yeah.
That's what we get.
He's like, cam setting 2, get out of here. You're good. You're free. The guy's like, are you sure? He's like, go.
So he kept calling him. My name was Jim the whole time.
The whole time. He's good. He ran off. Cam setting 3 was given a castle at $1 billion and made a mascot of the country.
I really like the guy.
He's a great guy. Cam setting 1, you pulled out your ceremonial sidearm pistol and just went, that's it.
Yeah, he's gone.
And cam setting 3 is like,
he was liberated in a different kind of way.
Don't worry. Liberated from the burden of having to make decisions ever again. And you won't have to make decisions either, people, because our next machine, you don't have to make a decision because it does it all. The Freemotion Machine is by a company called Freemotion. And the machine is Freemotion. I'm kidding. I'm sure they have a model name that no one cares or gives a shit about. Why? You would say, if you took this clip out of context, no one gives a shit about the Freemotion model machine, the model name. You'd be like, oh, he's talking smack about Freemotion. No. What kind of music did Michael Jackson make? Doesn't matter. It was the best. What kind of lifting can you do in a Freemotion machine? The kind of lifting that is limited only by your imagination. You can slide a bench into it, get presses going. You can slide a bench and get lat stuff going. Every tricep movement you can think of, every bicep movement you can think of. If you're training your delts with anything other than dumbbells, every kind of delt movement, crossbody delts, front raises, Y raises, it just does not end. The Freemotion most modern machine, because you'll see some of these older ones in the gym and they're still good. The most modern Freemotion machine is like, why don't you have one at your gym is my only question to you.
100%.
And listen, if you're not a wealthy king, if you're a medium income king, look, the machine costs some money, but it also does like 100 exercises.
It's cheaper than a cable system.
It's cheaper than a cable system. And don't tell anyone, it's better than a cable system. So, and also because it's one machine, no one can bully you and say, can I work it on the other side? There's only one side, pussy. Get out of my face. Don't say that to people at the gym, but if you have your own Freemotion machine, you can just cuddle it all night long, and its arms can be positioned by you to wrap you around.
That's true.
Have you ever slept inside of a Freemotion's loving embrace?
Yeah, of course.
I love you, Jared. That's it.
The handles are hanging down.
One hand up, one hand down. A Freemotion machine. I mean, we knew each other, but... Next up, one of Jared's favorites, the Axium Life Fitness Slanted Smith. How many more names does a machine like that need?
That's a good question. I assume Axiom is the line, but the Life Fitness Slanted Smith goes all the way to the floor, which is the problem you run into with Smith machines. It's slanted for a reason as well. Slanted Smith machines are just better than the ones
Just
that
better.
are.
They more naturally replicate the arcs of motion that your body wants to get into.
100%.
Incline presses are not supposed to be done vertically. They're
Right.
supposed to be done in an arc.
Yeah.
Rows, squats, good mornings. I'm just going to stop. Every exercise is like this. Skull crushers.
And
So
if you just with the last 2 exercises only had those 2 things in a gym, you could basically do everything.
Slanted Smith by Life Fitness Axiom and then the Freemotion. Like you need a couple of dumbbells and you're
Yeah.
straight.
Yeah, like the Smith is my favorite thing to go. My favorite go-to for pressing. I do a lot of bent rows on it. My favorite glute exercise ever is the one that I do on the Smith machine with most people,
Which is
front foot elevated lunge, or whatever you want to call it, reverse lunge. You can
Whatever
name you want to put on it.
Yeah.
We can make up a name for it. The RP strength, front foot elevated, super slow, pistol lunge.
Jared Feather.
Jared Feather.
The lunge should go after Jared Feather. Like, no, it's different like that.
Not different. Yeah. Best machine.
Best machine.
Amazing.
So another thing
Very
is
smooth.
it has it's very smooth arc. It has a very thin bar.
I was going to say the bars on a lot of those Smith machines, the Life Fitness ones especially.
Who
the newer
are those?
Yeah, they're really thick.
Bro.
Yeah.
Are ogres training
Yeah.
on the shit? How am I supposed to grip it with my hands if I can't grip it with my hands?
Right.
To quote, was it Cardi B? No.
Oh, boy.
Who was that other young African-American woman with lots of fake stuff on her body? Nicki Minaj said, you couldn't fudge Michael Kors if you were fudging Michael Kors. Don't worry, that'll make sense if you think about it less hard than you are now. You can't do rows on a Smith machine because the shit is too thick. You're not even going to be fudging Michael Kors, even though he's next to you doing the Axiom machine and having the time of his life. The other thing is, Jared said earlier, it lets you go all the way to the ground with the bar. There are lots of Smiths that legit stop 3 feet above. And I'm like, so did you guys forget that stiff-legged deadlifts, rows, and like rack pulls can be done from a Smith machine to incredible effect, but you just didn't care, didn't know? Jared, do you remember going to Philly and doing bent rows on the Smith machine, standing on a bench?
Yeah.
Look, that is not a stable place to stand. It's really annoying. And so with this machine, you can just do full spectrum, everything, including probably standing barbell presses if you'd like.
Yeah.
You can slide a bench in there and have lots of fun with your friends. Next up is a machine that's quite honestly a little dangerous. I was having a few doubts putting it on this list. It is the belt squat by Pitshark. And why is it dangerous? Well, pit bulls are very nice animals when raised properly, but a lot of them are just mean. And let me say to you here, total transparency, Jared, sharks don't really have a nice mode, do they?
No.
What do sharks primarily do with their time?
Eat people.
That's it. They eat surfers for sure. Old ladies on rafts. That's what they love the most. And so before getting one, and I actually do have one, and it's going to be installed soon. It's just sitting in my garage. It's been smoking cigarettes for a long time. I'm just waiting. We bought it a few cartons. Remember, he used to come back from the factory and start smoking a carton all at the same time.
Yep. And I put them out on you.
And I had it coming.
Your back's fucked up from that.
Yeah, but I'm
I didn't
strong.
want to tell you.
I see
Lots
the
of
scars. I felt them. But are they scars or are they more like the beautiful tapestry of my life story with all my imperfections?
All right, Lumen.
Okay, he actually said he doesn't like human imperfections.
I'm talking about tapestry.
Tapestries are cool. The Pitshark is an amazing belt squat machine. There are other really great belt squat machines, but the Pitshark has a triple setting for you if you want to be close, medium, or far. It accommodates every body size. It also accommodates the fact that with minimum or no modification, you can have the machine be maximally heavy at the bottom of a belt squat and very light at the top. Yeah. That's so huge because it perfectly replicates a force curve. Stimulus to fatigue ratio, it's really hard to beat. Many of the models of the Pitshark include a dip and pull-up station. Yeah. If you're a strong enough king to need the belt on dips and pull-ups.
Yeah, it gives you a shitload of like straight leg deadlifts and good morning type variations. Any hip hinging on there.
Yes. Like, rowing, bent rowing, anything you can clip in, you can do it.
Like you said, make the resistance profile is hardest at the bottom.
100%.
And every single one of those is exactly.
It's awesome. Just keep your limbs away from it because, well, pit bulls and sharks tend to bite. The Arsenal leg press is a near clone of the Nebula leg press from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually is better than the Nebula because I've used both back to back. The plate angle is a little better on the Arsenal. The seat slid a little bit more forward, giving you that big ROM. With minimal modification, for some people, no modification at all, the Arsenal leg press feels like silk and butter, not having sex. No. They're making love to each other in your knees.
Yeah, it is one of the only pieces of Arsenal equipment I like.
I knew you were going to say that. I was going to keep the love flowing, but Jerry has the red lightsaber for a reason.
It is
Arsenal, you guys are great. I like the hardcore elements of your machine. I don't love everything about them, but Arsenal's a great brand. Check it out. Their leg press is, again, physically made of dried up and congealed goat parts.
Yes. But it's a beautiful piece of equipment. The back pad adjusts all basically most of the way down. Not to where you're like lying on the ground or anything, but as low as you need it for getting that full range of motion. Because
Yes.
the biggest issue with most leg presses, they're locked in one place. There's no adjustment, and it's like a very weird incline to where you can't go all the way down.
It rounds your back.
It rounds your back immediately, even with some added padding like we like to do. Which brings us to my next point. American Barbell is making a leg press at the moment, which you will see in gyms very soon, that has lumbar support to help you with the rounding of the lower back, and the fully adjustable back pad that can go basically all the way to the ground.
That's a big
and
deal.
Adjust all the way up and down. It is
That's
a
a big
beautiful piece of equipment.
Next, Jared, I've noticed something in our list.
Oh, God.
This is going to be tough to admit. There's been a bit of nationalism on this channel, not the fun kind, and maybe even a little racism too.
This is from Canada.
Yeah, Canada's really just America, really, let's be honest here. Oh, but we've got
But you're right.
kilometers
But you're right.
and centigrade.
Yeah.
And like, what do you think? Canada's just a part of America? I mean, you just don't know geography? All right, Jordan
All right,
Peterson,
Jordan, we get
stay calm. Jordan just hit us up last night. He was like, I really don't like the fact that you've completely alienated and excluded
Italy.
the peoples of the Korean Peninsula from this list.
Oh.
And so we had to fix that. The Newtech side delt raise machine is dope,
It is
guys. Newtech's a new brand. I guess that's in the name. It's from Korea. They make really cool stuff. Do you like Samsung things? That's where Newtech's the same factory, I think. And by factory, I mean the nation of South Korea.
Yeah.
We were looking for a list of North Korean machines, and we unfortunately ran into the fact that the fitness culture is both inaccessible economically and illegal in North Korea, and they actually don't make any machines whatsoever outside of really just military industry, which also sucks. So South Korea is going to have to take the flag and run with it on this one, but the Newtech lateral raise is amazing. One of the things they have on it, which I've just never seen on any other machine, the top strap. So when you have a lateral raise, you guys hold the supports. Now with VersaGrips, this is problem solved.
But you
like,
forget them sometimes.
You forget them. Also, with enough sets, you kind of have to readjust a little bit sometimes. If it's a crappy machine, a lot. Some of the shoulder raise machines, like your Versas, don't even seem like they do anything because the machine rotates you right out of your Versas. Bad stuff. I'm not going to say whose machine that was, but bad stuff. The Newtech machine has a top strap. So you just actually slide your fingers under it, adjust it really tightly, and then like the top strap just holds down your hand. You can literally just point your fingers out, let your thumb be loose, and just totally connect with your side delts. Mind muscle connection, force production, stability, shoulder pain.
Yeah.
It just checks every single box in the best possible way.
Yeah. It's one of the only standing laterals that I've trained at Torture for 2 years now. I've never seen it out of order. So it's very well built.
Dope.
Yeah. I've always, I've walked into a few gyms. The ones at LVAC for sure. I guess those are older, but it's just sturdy. It's a good piece of equipment. Not a lot of moving parts. The
just like the Korean people,
the selectorizer goes up to like 300 pounds.
Yeah, which you don't
will ever
need.
use.
Right.
So.
Jared and I use like 120 to 150, and so Jared's shoulders are the size of whatever God. It's dope vibes, guys. Next up on this list, our last of the top 10 machines we recommend you try before a little bonus, so stay tuned, is going to be the Panatta lying leg curl, and I introduced it all wrong. Scott, let's not re-record this, but I just have to make a clarification on my part.
Panatta.
It's not a Panatta. It's a Panatta.
Come on.
Every time I use any other machine that's not a Panatta machine, and I know Panatta has a great machine that I could be using instead, I look over to my left and a magical Italian fairy man appears looking exactly like Luigi from Mario and Luigi.
I say it was in Mario.
Basically. Yeah. And he's like, oh, why you know use it the Panatta? And I'm like, oh man, but I'm on a low carb diet and I want pasta. And he's like, oh, why you know have a gram of sauce? And Italian jokes aside, Italians love and respect. The Panatta lying leg curl, Jared, why does it compel you so?
I very much enjoy this machine because it goes much beyond the range of motion of most lying leg curls. It has the lying pad such that you kind of have that hip arch. And at the very bottom of the range of motion, you're experiencing a shitload of tension and basically unable to hit the selectorizer stack because you have to kind of weasel yourself into the machine.
Yeah.
It's
so basically the forces are completely maximized at the bottom and you'll never hit a force unloading point.
Right.
Which means stimulus to fatigue ratio is nuts.
Super insane.
The raw stimulus magnitude is extra nuts.
Yeah.
3 sets of 50 to 20 reps on that machine, your hamstrings are going bye-bye. Whereas many other not so great machines, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to be there for a little bit, 5-6 sets to get the same
100%.
It's like, man, they make a lot of amazing industrial products in Italy. Lamborghini, a Bugatti, a Pagani.
And Panatta.
And a Panatta. But the Panatta better than all of those 100%. Because you can drive to the gym in a nice car, but your workout sucks. You go on Panatta, hamstrings are so big, you jump to your gym. You don't need a Bugatti, you get a big hamstring. And now eat the grandma cheese. She made it for you with her own blood. You know how they always get to that part?
Dracula real quick.
Well, you're Dracula's Romanian. It's basically the same thing. Are you into Romanian girls?
No.
Scott, I don't even have to ask you. Just shut up back there. Jerry has the full force of the Jerry, and he has a little bonus round here with Jerry's machines that didn't make the list. But during the negotiations, after we ran out of 10 machines, and I said, I think that's it, Jared turned on his red lightsaber.
Yeah, I got really mad.
Star Wars music came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it always does. I have the high ground. You underestimate my power.
I love it. Keep going.
I hate you.
So, because hate is something we don't do, it's all love. Here is Jerry's bonus round. The Panatta standing total arm.
Yeah.
What is that? It sounds made up.
It's a completely adjustable arm machine where you can do curls. There's tons of attachments. You can do push downs. It's basically the stacks here. You can move it up and down, or the adjusters here. You can move it up and down.
I've seen that thing.
It's selectorizer. You say you hate it, but I think you would like it if you, because you can.
When I said I hated it, I was just being catty with you, Jared. Yeah. It's a good machine. It's not my number one go-to, but that's why it's on Jerry's bonus list.
Yeah, I just like it because you can do both, and it's like amazing for supersets.
Yeah.
You can adjust it such that the handle comes way in. So when you are doing like elbow out in front of you curls, the fucking tension that you experience in the bottom is absolutely insane.
It's a very comfortable grip too.
Yeah, it's very comfortable.
Yeah,
and
amazing for push downs.
The push downs are sweet too.
You can really lean into them. Super stable because the cable does this.
Exactly.
This machine doesn't do any of that. It's
exactly.
Totally
That's why I like it. It's just it's a cool machine.
Yeah.
That if you see it in a gym and you're like, should I put it in? Should I use it? Yeah, give it a shot because it's nice. It has good resistance profiles and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, it's dope.
The Prime Preacher Curl Machine.
Yes. When people do preacher curls, they often do this thing where they put their front delts over the pad too far instead of leaning away from it and pulling the front delt back. But whenever you can use the cam setting on a 3, no matter how much you push your front delt forward, that shit's still getting hard.
Still super hard at the bottom, which is what you want.
It's exactly what you want. You feel like your bicep's going to blow off. It's insane. So when the set gets hard and you do start to experience where your shoulder's going for it doesn't matter. you're still going to experience the most force in the bottom of that movement. And most of the prime stuff, you're able to select the 3 cam setting, like we said, and it's better. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just a big fan of one-arm preacher curls. So
yeah, they can hit your biceps with a real mind-muscle connection that kind of nothing else can.
Yeah.
The Prime is just getting love, and they deserve it. It's an unbelievable equipment company.
Yeah.
Prime selectorized flat chest press machine.
I used it at Raw when I went and trained with Nick Walker. It gave me the best pump I've ever had in my life.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is it tough at the bottom?
And yeah, so they have 5 cam settings on that one.
What?
Yeah.
So you chose number 5, I assume.
I think 3 is still the deepest stretch.
Okay.
5 is some weird like mid-range. I don't know. Not exactly the mid-range, but like right before the deep.
Yeah.
So then it like lets off a little bit at the deepest, which you don't want. So you put it on 3 still, but it oh my God, man. What we like about the Hoist, everything about the Hoist that we like, it's that.
So it also makes them moist.
Yeah, it makes them very moist. And it's very deep. It has you have to push down to get it all the way off. 0 shoulder pain, 0 elbow pain. It converges just a tad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a beautiful.
How are the handles?
They have both. So
all options.
Yep, all options.
Amazing. Folks, I hope this has been informative. If you are confused about what machines to use, just go in there and start trying stuff. If you know your stuff and one of these machines pops up, warm up really well, get some quality sets in. You probably won't regret it. If you want to track your workouts, you can actually type in the kind of machine and make it its own exercise in the RP Hypertrophy app. And look, we have no formal affiliation with, Scott, any of these companies?
We've been paid by Atlantis before.
But they ain't paying us now. I'm kidding, Atlantis. You guys are great. So yeah, these are just awesome machines. There are tons more. We're not saying that these are better than other machines.
Right.
These are just the ones we like. Give them a shot. And if you get enormous and super successful and have a CEO chest, I don't know, then throw us some money. Jared's getting skinny.
Yeah.
We need to buy food so we can have money to eat. I've been Dr. Whatever, and see you never again. Bye.